Hi all, it's Matt Walsh from Style Factory here, the go-to site for e-commerce platform reviews and comparisons. In this video, I'm going to compare Shopify versus Adobe Commerce and highlight the respective pros and cons of each platform. Let's start by taking a look at the various flavors that both platforms come in. There are basically two versions of Shopify available. First, there's its standard version, aimed at small businesses. This costs between $5 and $399 per month, depending on the plan you opt for. There's also an enterprise version available, called Shopify Plus. Unlike the standard version, this includes multi-store management tools, extensive API access, checkout customization options, and enhanced support. Fees for this are negotiable, but are typically in the region of $2,300 per month. As for Adobe Commerce, there are three versions of it to consider: Magento Open Source, Adobe Commerce, Adobe Commerce Cloud. Magento Open Source is free, open source software that you install on your own hosting setup. Adobe Commerce is a paid-for version of the software that, like Magento Open Source, you install and maintain on your own hosting setup. However, it comes with more features than the free version. These include advanced analytics, B2B features, and AI tools. Finally, there's Adobe Commerce Cloud. This is another paid-for version of the software, but unlike the other two, it's not self-hosted. It runs on Adobe servers and gives you access to enterprise-level features, including enhanced security and disaster recovery backup systems. As the core selling features of all three versions of the platform are similar, in this comparison I'll generally be using the phrase Adobe Commerce to cover all three. However, where necessary, I'll refer to individual versions of the software. Okay, so now I'll move on to the reasons you might want to use Shopify, followed by a look at the areas where Adobe Commerce wins. 1. Shopify is significantly easier to set up and use. Shopify streamlines the store building process with its intuitive drag-and-drop interface and its large range of pre-designed, easy-to-edit templates. These features make it very straightforward to put a Shopify store together. By contrast, an Adobe Commerce setup typically requires configuring servers, managing databases, and performing theme modifications via coding. This leads to a lot more technical work and a steeper learning curve. As a result, launching an Adobe Commerce store can take weeks or even months, while a Shopify project can often go live within a few days. 2. It's easier to keep a Shopify store secure. Shopify simplifies security by offering built-in protection for your store. All Shopify stores are PCI DSS Level 1 compliant, meaning that they meet the highest standards for securely processing credit card transactions. Shopify also provides free SSL certificates for every store, which encrypt customer data and keep transactions secure. Additionally, its fraud detection tools help merchants identify and prevent suspicious transactions. But if you're using a self-hosted version of Adobe Commerce, ensuring site security rests mainly with you. You'll need to manually install SSL certificates, maintain PCI compliance, and apply security patches to keep your store protected. Failure to do so can leave an Adobe Commerce store vulnerable to cyber attacks and data breaches. 3. Shopify provides more apps and integrations than Adobe Commerce. Shopify's App Store contains a selection of over 16,000 apps. These cater for everything from marketing automation and inventory management to customer support, analytics, and AI-driven personalization, and most can be installed with just a couple of clicks. By contrast, Adobe Commerce's Extensions Marketplace features around 4,000 extensions, giving Shopify a 4-to-1 advantage in terms of app availability. And although Adobe Commerce's extensions provide deep customization opportunities, getting started with many of them will require manual installation or support from a developer. 4. Shopify provides powerful point-of-sale features. Shopify doesn't just let you build an online store, it also gives you a sophisticated point-of-sale system, Shopify POS. This can be used to sell your products in physical locations like retail stores, pop-up shops, or market stalls. Shopify POS lets you accept in-person payments using a wide range of hardware, including smartphones, tablets, card readers, and barcode scanners. Everything is managed from a single Shopify dashboard, and inventory levels are updated automatically whenever an online or offline sale is made. By contrast, Adobe Commerce does not provide a built-in POS system. Instead, merchants must rely on a third-party solution like Square or Zettle to accept in-person payments. While this provides flexibility, it can lead to unwanted costs, more setup time, and potential compatibility issues. 5. International selling is easier with Shopify. Shopify makes selling internationally very straightforward thanks to bundled multi-currency and multilingual features. Its Markets feature allows visitors to your store to check out in their own currency, and its free Translate and Adapt app makes it easy to translate your site into multiple languages, with some of these translations handled automatically. Although it is possible to sell internationally with Adobe Commerce too, doing so involves considerably more effort. For currency conversions, merchants must either manually configure exchange rates or integrate Adobe Commerce with a third-party service to stay on top of fluctuating rates. 6. Shopify is a lot cheaper. Using the paid-for versions of Adobe Commerce can be extremely expensive. Pricing is negotiable, but our research suggests a pricing range of at least $22,000 per year for access to Adobe Commerce, and a minimum of $40,000 plus per year for access to Adobe Commerce Cloud. It's also worth noting that Adobe Commerce Cloud's pricing is based on gross merchandise value, sales price of goods times the number of goods sold. This means that if you're a high-volume seller, the fees for Adobe Commerce Cloud can really mount up. So a lot of the time, Shopify will work out considerably cheaper than Adobe Commerce, especially if you're using one of its non-enterprise plans. These range in price from $5 to $399 per month, a lot lower than the Adobe Commerce fees. Okay, so those are the key reasons you might want to use Shopify. I'll highlight the areas where Adobe Commerce wins in just a moment. Before I do that, however, I just wanted to say that the best way to try Shopify out is via a special extendable trial. This lets you try the platform out for 3 months for just $1 per month. I've dropped a link to this in the video description. You might also like to check out our Store Builder Finder. This is an interactive tool that helps you find the right e-commerce platform for your business. To access this, just Google Style Factory Store Builder Finder or check out the link in the description. Now, let's look at the reasons you might want to use Adobe Commerce instead of Shopify. 1. Adobe Commerce is a more flexible tool. One of Adobe Commerce's biggest selling points is its open source architecture. This allows merchants to customize nearly every aspect of their online store. From fully customized selling processes to advanced product configurations, businesses have complete control over their e-commerce experience when using Adobe Commerce. Shopify operates within a much more controlled framework, however. Because everything runs using Shopify's code and servers, it's harder to create bespoke websites using the platform. 2. Adobe Commerce is better for multi-store management. With its multi-store functionality, Adobe Commerce lets businesses run multiple storefronts from a single dashboard, each with its own domain, currency, language, and product catalog. By contrast, regular Shopify plan users are limited to a single store per account. This means that operating multiple stores on standard Shopify plans involves creating and managing several Shopify accounts and logging into individual admin dashboards to change settings and manage subscriptions. Shopify's enterprise plan, Shopify Plus, is better here. It lets you manage up to 9 expansion stores in addition to your main one, but even so, each store functions independently, requiring its own setup and management. 3. Adobe Commerce offers more payment processing options. Adobe Commerce gives merchants more control over payment processing than Shopify, supporting around 370 third-party payment gateways without imposing any additional transaction fees. Shopify supports about 100 third-party payment gateways and significantly charges transaction fees of up to 2% if you use one of them. The only way to avoid transaction fees with Shopify is by using its built-in payment gateway, Shopify Payments. But this is only available in 38 countries. 4. Adobe Commerce permits full checkout customization. Unlike Shopify, Adobe Commerce provides merchants with complete control over the checkout experience, making it the stronger choice for businesses that require custom payment flows, advanced verification steps, or highly specific checkout modifications. The platform lets you freely adjust your checkout layouts, add custom fields, modify payment logic, or integrate third-party services into the selling process. On standard Shopify plans, checkout customization is much more limited. Merchants can personalize the checkout page with basic branding options, such as adding a logo, adjusting colors, and modifying typography. However, direct layout modifications, custom checkout fields, and payment flow changes are not permitted. Shopify Plus offers more flexibility here thanks to its Checkout Extensibility feature, a framework that allows more significant checkout modifications using Shopify-approved apps and APIs. While this facilitates the addition of custom elements like additional fields, upsell offers, and custom checkout flows, it still doesn't let merchants directly modify a checkout's code or layout. 5. Adobe Commerce handles large and complex product catalogs better. Adobe Commerce is built to handle huge product catalogs, making it a strong choice for businesses selling hundreds of thousands of products. It lets merchants create highly customized product listings that involve an unlimited number of product options and variants. Shopify, by contrast, currently limits each product to 3 options, e.g. size, color, or material, and each product can only come in up to 100 combinations of these. This can be restrictive for businesses selling items that come in lots of different shapes and sizes. There is a workaround available here, however. Shopify merchants can install third-party apps like Infinite Product Options to bypass these product option limitations. Doing so can add extra costs and complexity to catalog management, though. 6. Adobe Commerce offers greater control for businesses in regulated industries. Businesses working in certain industries, such as pharmaceuticals, financial services, and government procurement, must adhere to strict compliance regulations involving data security, reporting, and payment processing. And Adobe Commerce, being fully open source, allows businesses to customize their compliance protocols to meet these requirements. This flexibility makes it an attractive choice for organizations that need complete control over how customer data is stored, processed, and secured. For example, Adobe Commerce merchants can choose their hosting provider to ensure GDPR-compliant data storage in the EU, implement custom encryption and authentication measures, and modify checkout and payment processes to meet financial or industry-specific regulations. But Shopify, as a software-as-a-service company, controls the infrastructure used by merchants, meaning that sellers have to operate within Shopify's built-in security framework. While Shopify is PCI DSS Level 1 certified and provides strong security features, it does not allow merchants to modify security and data protection settings to the degree that Adobe Commerce does. Okay, so those are the reasons you might want to use Adobe Commerce over Shopify. Let's wrap things up with a quick verdict. If you're running a large enterprise and need advanced e-commerce functionality, for example, multi-store management, advanced back-end automation, or extremely bespoke checkout experiences, Adobe Commerce offers a level of flexibility that Shopify can't quite match. Its open-source nature gives you full control over hosting, development, and security, making it a strong option for businesses that need tailored solutions and have the resources to create and manage them. But that flexibility comes with higher development costs, ongoing maintenance, and a much steeper technical learning curve. So for many businesses, Shopify is going to be a much more practical choice. It's powerful, yet significantly easier than Adobe Commerce to use, and provides a quick setup process that can lead to a store going live in days rather than the weeks or months it takes to get an Adobe Commerce project off the ground. And that's it. I hope you found this Shopify versus Adobe Commerce comparison helpful. If you're interested in using either Shopify or Adobe Commerce, please do check out the video description, where you'll find links to both platforms and access to a special extended Shopify trial. If you'd like to learn even more about the pros and cons of Shopify and Adobe Commerce, do check out our deep dive blog post about them. This is on the Style Factory site. Just Google Style Factory Adobe Commerce versus Shopify to access it. Before you go, please do like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notifications bell. And finally, if you have any queries about either solution, please do leave them in the comments. We read them all and will do our best to help.